Este episodio de Than Mamis es presentado por Bobby Brown.
¿Alguna vez has encontrado un producto que realmente te haga sentir bien en tu propia piel? Para mí, eso es lo que ha hecho el Weightless Skin Foundation de Bobby Brown. Visita bobbybrown.com y empieza a sentirte como la mejor versión de ti misma todos los días.
Hola, yo soy Yanto.
Hola, yo soy Michi.
Bienvenidas a un nuevo episodio de
Than Mamis.
¿Cómo están mis mamitas queridas? Aquí nos encontramos en otro episodio. Y Michelle se trajo a su cuñada. ¿Por qué? Porque hace unos días vino toda la familia de Nathan aquí a Miami y estaban jugando y resulta que uno de los hijos de la cuñada, que tiene 11 meses, se atoró con un tostito.
Ay, no, chama, eso fue... Yo dije, ya, yo iba a llamar a la ambulancia y en eso ella, y lo sacó. Claro, ella es nurse practitioner, que aquí es como un doctor, porque ellos mismos te escriben recetas, sí. Tienen todo el entrenamiento de un doctor.
Sí, es como el cargo que hay in between, como la enfermera y el doctor. Creo que en Venezuela no sé si exista.
Creo que no. O como médico general, maybe, algo así, no sé. Sí. Ok, el caso es que ella también es mamá. Ella es mamá de mis sobrinos, Charlie y Oliver, que uno tiene 3 añitos y el otro tiene 11 meses. Y bueno, ha sido como que mi mentora en toda la parte médica de cada vez que le pasa algo a los twins, yo la llamo.
Qué rico.
Sí, es lo máximo.
Qué rico poder tener esa, yo creo que es una ventaja. Es como tener un abogado y tener un médico.
Bueno, su esposo es abogado.
Bueno, además 2 por 1. Porque qué importante en verdad poder levantar el teléfono de inmediato cuando tienen una alergia, cuando tienen fiebre, cuando les pasa algo que tú realmente, bueno, puedes buscar en internet, pero no siempre recibes la respuesta correcta.
No, o no sabes si en verdad está recomendado. Entonces,
tú la viste haciendo el
CPR y fue como que yo necesito que, o sea, como que nos dé más información de los cuidados que, ¿sabes? Que todas las mamás primerizas nos preguntamos.
Además, ¿no crees que esto deberían enseñarlo? Para mí, en la escuela, debería ser una materia. Ponte, no sé, en séptimo, octavo grado. Primeros auxilios. Aprender cómo hacer CPR, como cualquier cantidad de cosas, hasta cuando te ahogas, porque...
Cómo curar una herida.
Cómo curar una herida.
Son cosas que deberíamos saber.
Que echarle a la herida para que, como antibiótico, para que no se infecte o para, acelerarla, que se cure, cosas que son tan importantes.
¿Qué hacer cuando se caen?
Claro, y realmente no nos enseñan. Yo recuerdo que siempre nos decían, bueno, si te fracturas, cuando empecé a hacer deporte, era, si se cae tu compañero jugando fútbol, dice, no lo muevas, ¿sabes? Como que no le muevas el pie, porque siempre era como que, bueno, para arriba, para abajo, te duele, y es como que no lo muevas, trata de ponerle una tabla por debajo, véndalo, evita la movilidad, pero realmente uno es ignorante en este tema que es tan delicado, porque no solamente ayudar a nuestros conocidos y familiares, es ayudar al desconocido también.
Exacto, porque a veces estamos en situaciones, de repente, bueno, yo como con el restaurante, me he visto en situaciones, hubo una vez una niña que ella tenía como alguna condición de alergia y se empezó a como que a poner rojita y eso enseguida, y nosotros siempre preguntamos, ¿hay alguna alergia?
Claro.
No, ellos no sabían, creo que era alérgica a la canela, algo así súper random. Y enseguida me tocó llamar a emergencia y mientras tanto, gracias a Dios, en el público, en mis clientes había un bombero y él auxilió. ¿Ok? Pero eso yo creo que es súper importante como si no tiene esa persona a quien llamar, como en mi caso yo se las traigo aquí. La conversación es en inglés, pero aquí en YouTube la van a tener por subtítulos. Si están escuchando esto en Spotify o en Apple, ustedes pueden ir a YouTube y verlo con subtítulos en español, y si hablan inglés, pues se disfruta la conversación en Spanglish, porque aquí tenemos un mezcladito.
Un mezcladito. Así que bueno, nada, vamos a darle la bienvenida a
Ana, mi cuñada, la hermana de Nathan.
Ana Winship.
Bueno, Ana ya no, ahora es una señora casada, Ana Pollack. ¿Okay? Ya nos vemos aquí en Than Mamis. Este episodio está con muchísima información y creo que encanta. Es bueno también para nosotras como mamás latinas en Estados Unidos sabernos los términos médicos en inglés, porque es terrible cuando de repente nos están bombardeando de información en el hospital, en la cita médica en inglés y no tenemos todavía ese oído afinado.
Sí, o cuando estamos llamando al 911.
Exacto,
sí,
así que aquí pueden practicar en este episodio.
Total. Iba a decir otra cosa, se me olvidó. En Patreon vamos a contar historias locas que le han pasado a Ana en el hospital de pacientes, así que tú dices, llegó con esta historia.
Loquísima.
Buenísimo. Así que de aquí saltan al Patreon y si no están suscritas en el Patreon, pues se suscriben, son $5 al mes solamente, es decir, menos que un café porque el café ahorita en Miami cuesta casi 6. Entonces, ustedes agarran, se suscriban a nuestro Patreon y no solamente ven este episodio, sino muchos episodios con contenido extra. Además, se enteran de mi historia también, que en el Patreon.
Oh my God, sí,
en Patreon,
épica.
Ana va a contar una historia que está hilada a otra historia médica mía. Así que no se lo pueden perder.
Nos vemos por allá.
Sonoro.
And here we are with my sister-in-law and nurse practitioner, Anna. Thank you for being here, More Than Mamis.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Ana. Bueno, vamos a hacer esto en Spanglish. Vamos a preguntarle en español, en inglés, y ella va a contestar en inglés. Ustedes pueden, se lo repetimos, poner los subtítulos en YouTube. Si están escuchando en Spotify y hablan los dos idiomas, bueno, va a ser perfecto. Pero si no, pueden ver este episodio en YouTube para que puedan entender la mayoría de las respuestas, que son súper interesantes, porque siento que como mamás, a veces somos muy ignorantes con cosas y accidentes que pueden pasar en casa, en donde nosotros pudiéramos actuar de manera rápida, sin necesidad, bueno, o mientras esperamos, pues, la llegada
del doctor,
del doctor o de la ambulancia, o nosotros mientras vamos a ER también, hacer lo que desde nuestro conocimiento podemos hacer.
Exactamente. So, I want to start because we're having all the cousins together, so it's a bit crazy. She has 2 kids. One is 11 months and the other one is 3 years, right?
Yeah.
2 boys?
Two boys.
Two boys.
So we have like a boy gang.
Yeah.
And then Eric and Paul. And the big cousins were eating chips.
Okay.
And then the little one somehow got one of the chips. And he choked. And then I saw her.
Here in Miami or in your house?
Here.
Oh.
Like, this
Yes.
was 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago, yeah.
And I saw her like doing the CPR thing like so well. I'm like, I'll be freaking out. So I want to know everything about what to do when a baby chokes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was freaking out too. But I have so much training on what to do that my training took over. But internally, I was like, oh.
Yeah, because it's your kid.
Yeah.
It's different when you're seeing a patient.
Different. Yeah, exactly. So I think everybody should take a first aid
like
course,
a CPR.
like a CPR, first aid. Just so you know what to do if that happens.
Yes. In the hospitals here, they give it to you when the twins were in NICU. They don't let you out if you don't know CPR.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Wow.
But just if you're in NICU, because you know they're more likely to choke or whatever because of respiratory things. But I feel that should be with any baby.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't have a baby, even like, you know, if you live by your own and you're on the street and you want to help people in an emergency, you need to know.
Absolutely. My friend fell asleep with gum in her mouth and she choked on
What?
it. She couldn't breathe. Yeah.
O sea, una amiga ella se ahogó con un chicle. What did she do?
She was like,
oh my God.
And then she ran to a couch and did the Heimlich. Like with the couch. It was I'm so glad she was like, she could have died. Yeah. So now whenever I have gum, I always take it out.
So she did it to herself?
Yeah.
With a couch.
Wow.
Yeah. That's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. That's crazy. Well, for the CP...
she died because of a gum.
You know, there's a TV show that's like 100 dumb ways to die or something like that. Oh my God. Okay, let's not be that person. And then with CPR, there's also like the CPR baby training and the toddler or like big kid, how you like, it's like different with babies because it's like different.
There's different categories
Exactly.
for babies and toddlers and kids.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to know it all.
Yeah,
You know?
we should do one.
Yes.
I need to do one with like for grown-up babies because I just know that.
I have an idea. We can do one with our More Than Mamis that are subscribed to Patreon. Maybe we can have a course with them.
CPR course. Oh, yeah, that'd be amazing. All right. Well, the way I did it was like a company. Actually, it was a fireman who came to our house.
Really?
Because I had everyone get trained in my house, like the nannies, my dad, Nathan. I wanted to like learn again because I was a bit freaked out. after the NICU, I didn't want anything else to happen. So that's good. You can also like have training in your house. If you call like the fire department in your area, they'll send you someone.
I didn't even know that. That's
great.
And
you just do a donation, like whatever you can pay.
And things that for baby are hazards for them, like
pretty
chips.
Much everything.
Popcorn,
blueberries, grapes. Yeah,
grapes you need to cut. I actually have like a drape cutter.
Oh my god,
yeah.
So Michelle.
I know. That's something. Nathan was
you can
like,
cut it with the knife, okay?
So I just like.
You eat the half. Me too. She could be my friend.
All right. Another thing that I heard that is also dangerous is peanut butter. You know that you can choke with peanut butter, like because the texture is like so
like
thick.
the honey.
Yeah, or honey. Like it's like it gets hard. And I actually have a friend that her baby choked with peanut butter.
Really?
So that's something now, like if I'm giving them peanut butter or any nut butter, I put it in the microwave to like
soften it.
But I don't use microwaves anymore. That's another story. I heat it so it gets softer and you can mix it with like water or whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's a good tip.
Ana, los pasos a seguir cuando nuestro bebé se ahoga con algo.
Like what you should do, like if you don't have the CPR course, what would you recommend a mom to do? Like call 911 right away?
Everyone should know how to at least do you turn your baby over and you do like really hard hits on the back.
It was like I saw it.
Because like, sometimes the reaction is to put the fingers inside.
Never do that.
You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, because that can push an object further in and obstruct the airway more. So you flip them over and you want their head to be lower, and then you just do, Okay. And then you also
hit them hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you do the abdominal thrust too. So you alternate between the back and the abdominal thrust. But thankfully I didn't have to do that. I just whacked
ella
him.
solamente al bebé le hizo como que palmadas pero full fuertes y con eso salió. Yo estaba, pero yo tenía en casa, ¿sabes porque tú sabes yo compro todo. La cosa esta que es como que de succión que se llama D-Shocker. Okay, es como una máscara que hace presión y puedes sacar el objeto. Pero for me, I was like,
¿dónde está?
Here is this.
Está en el garaje.
No. I have it in a place I know because I have that next to the G2 emergency kit as well. So my reflex was like, oh no, I have this. And she's like, I have it. I'll do it myself. So what do you think about these devices?
So I think that in an emergency situation where doing the normal, like the back hits and the abdominal, if that doesn't work and you've already called 911 and they're on the way,
you can try that.
You can try
I would try it. I wouldn't do it first,
everything.
But exactly.
Okay. And then another thing that freaks me out, I'm going to make my tea now, is fevers. Because I never really know how to actually treat it. Because I remember, like, for me, my drama would just put me, like, in a cold shower, and I hated it so much. And I don't think that's recommended anymore, right? And
no.
When is it a fever? Because, in Latin America, we use Celsius degrees, and here it's like Fahrenheit, so I'm always confused. Like, I never know.
I always have to use the Google.
It's like the conversion.
So it's above 38 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Yes, and that's 100.4 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So that's when it's considered a fever. And there's a real problem where people think anytime their child has a fever, they need to treat it immediately. And fevers actually serve an important purpose in your body. It is your body's way of fighting off the infection. So when you elevate the temperature, it helps fight the virus or bacteria.
Wow.
So it's actually a good thing. So instead of just treating a fever because it's a fever, you should only treat your child if they're uncomfortable.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that. To me, like, as soon as I see, like, the littles, fever.
¿Cómo se llama cuando uno es fiebre? Quebranto.
El quebranto. We have this word in Spanish that is not fever, or it's almost.
It's almost a fever. It's like 37. So
ya
we call
casi.
It, ya casi. So we call it quebranto. Entonces tienes quebranto y ya de una, nosotros las mamás latinas, we give them like every medicine that we have.
A Z-pack.
Tylenol, everything. So, okay, if we see that the kid is uncomfortable, is when we give Tylenol.
Exactly.
What is, and also I never know if I should give Tylenol or Motrin. I like.
Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
Either or.
Okay, but which one's better to try first?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Whichever you have.
They both do the same thing.
If the fever gets to 40 degrees Celsius, that is
What's
like
that in Fahrenheit?
That's like 102. 102, I think. I don't know. Let me do this.
106.
No, I don't know.
Oh no, their brain would be cooked like an egg.
104.
40 Celsius, 40 grados to Fahrenheit. Okay, 40 Celsius, 104.
104.
Okay, so that's okay. You just give ibuprofen or Tylenol, and then if that doesn't work in like 20-30 minutes, you can give the other. So if you started with the ibuprofen, you can do
alternate.
Tylenol. Exactly, and then the fever should come down. If it doesn't come down and it stays up, then you want to take them to be seen immediately.
Okay.
But
so we have to wait between 30-40 minutes to see if the fever is going down.
So it should come down in that time, at least start to come down. But actually that happened with Charlie, and he was at 104, and he was so hot, and he was just
like, is that feeling when you touch him? I actually feel like it's gonna burn you.
Yeah. And I felt so bad for him, and I gave him Tylenol, and it didn't work, and then the ibuprofen brought it down. But
Anto gave me a tip of Latina moms. That she was like, dale un supositorio. I'm like, what? and it's like es esta cosita que le metes por las nalguitas y le baja la fiebre. It's like it can be Tylenol or Motrin, both, right?
I think just Tylenol.
Just Tylenol.
I'm not sure.
So, but when is safe to give a suppository, because you don't want to overdose it, right?
Well, it does the same thing as doing it orally.
Okay.
So
but it's more direct.
Sí, a mí me gusta el supositorio porque muchas veces cuando es sobre todo bebé te puede escupir la dosis, entonces yo no sé si se le estoy dando completa, entonces no le baja porque no se la di completa.
O si vomita.
O si vomita. Entonces con el supositorio siento que, le di la dosis completa, vamos a ver si actúa, siento que es más rápido. O sea,
sí.
Para mí me da más calma de saber que, ojo, es incómodo.
Yo no pude hacerlo, lo tuvo que hacer Nathan.
No, yo sí soy cruel, no tengo compasión. No. Víctor no puede hacerlo.
¿No? Es que es verdad que ustedes son opuestos.
My husband, he cannot do it.
Mark
I'm the one in
My husband either.
That's so funny. All right, so that with fevers, and also about the cold shower.
For fevers, the cold shower.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so if you put your child in a cold bath or a cold shower, it will bring down their temperature, but it's not actually good. Because then after you bring the temperature down so quickly, then their body's going to compensate by like shivering.
Yeah, that I remember that. Like I will be like shaking.
Yes. Exactly. And so your body has to work, their body has to work even harder, and their body's supposed to be working hard to fight the infection, and the temperature just comes right back up. So it's just temporary, and it actually does more harm than good.
And another myth is about the blankets. Like, I remember that I was like in my bed, and my mom's like, don't get so much blankets, don't just put sweaters on, because you have to like
just like not have too much clothing. Is that true?
So you should be dressed like
normally,
yeah. And then, I mean, if you're shivering, you can do blankets. That's not a problem.
All right, good to know. So another thing that I will never forget is the sound of when your baby falls for the first time. That like, bah!
That's so bad.
What do you do? Because the first time what I did was calling you, Anna, Paul fell. What do I do?
No, that is the worst.
I know.
Yeah, my son actually, so he had just started to be able to move a little bit, and I put him on the bed like I usually did when I was changing, because I wanted him right in front of me, and I pulled my shirt over my head, and in that second, he fell from the bed onto the floor, and I heard like a thump.
Ese sonido cuando un bebé se cae es lo peor.
Yeah, and you feel like the worst mom in the whole entire world.
And it's just 1 second.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was just like, ella se estaba quitando la camisa en ese segundo.
A mí me pasó con los dos.
Really, with both?
Se me cayeron los dos de la cama. Sí, pero bueno.
Pero ahí está, sobrevivieron.
I know. But so I took him. So I did a full neuro exam and made sure he was okay. But I still took him to the pediatrician. So I measured if your child is less than 2, if the fall is 3 feet or greater, then you want to take them immediately to be evaluated. If they're over 2, then 5 feet.
Okay.
Then the rule is 5 feet.
5 feet is a lot.
Yeah.
5 feet is a lot, yeah. It's like they fall from like the changing station.
Yeah, exactly.
That one is a common one. The other day, Nathan was changing Paul, and Eric started throwing up, so his reflex was like, go help Eric. And then Paul was a lot, and I'm like, no. And I dropped him like here because he immediately did that. It's just like takes seconds.
It does.
So what do? You like measure if it's not over 3 feet for a baby or not over 5 feet for a toddler.
Yes.
What do you do at home? What you need to look? What symptoms?
So you want to monitor your child closely.
Okay.
And if they are vomiting more than one time and projectile vomiting, that's a sign that the pressure in their head could be increased due to
o sea,
fall.
Si vomitan o si vomitan proyectil, es una señal de que hay que llevarlo a emergencia.
Exactly. And then if they're just acting different than they usually do, if they're lethargic, if they're out of it, if their speech is slurred, if their eyes like aren't focusing.
Okay. And you have to keep them awake?
You do not.
Okay.
Yeah, but you need to keep a close eye on them. Yeah.
And also if like they sleep too long, that I will also like be like, wake up. Are you okay? Are you alive? Yeah.
When I took Charlie to the pediatrician after his fall, I was freaking out because I was worried that I was such an incompetent mother for letting him fall that they were going to call CPS and not let me leave the doctor's office. Well, so I was like, do I lie about it? Do I say
Do I say wasn't me? That was my husband.
Exactly. But then she said every child falls at some point, and you're not a bad mom. It's not, so that was helpful.
Diego fell from the stairs like. I just saw him like running.
And we saw like in slow motion.
And he was just running after him. Oh my God, that was awful.
But how old was he?
He was 2.
Okay.
When he fell.
Yeah.
It's when they're 2. They're like
because
way more active.
They feel that they are like independent and they
so
can
much
just,
confidence.
Yes.
They feel like they're
go
Spider-Man.
up and down the stairs, but no. It was like when they are babies, there's so many fears as a mom.
Yes.
Like, and there's so many devices that you put like to see that the
heartbeat, the little sock. Remember that I wanted to buy.
Yeah. And you can monitor that they are breathing. Like, as a mom, when the babies are like from newborn to maybe 6, 7 months, what we should have to know about.
I mean, honestly, you don't need any of that. You don't.
Michelle buy everything.
I know, and I told her not to. I was like,
but also Nathan, I'm not the only one here, okay? Nathan loves to buy these things to keep them safe.
But the thing is, it doesn't actually keep them safe. Yeah.
But remember that Nathan got like this device that's actually a medical device.
Yeah.
That will like measure the pulse, the breathing, everything, the oxygen.
But they don't even work that well. Like
exactly.
I remember being at your house and it would go off and they weren't even in their crib and it would be like the baby has stopped breathing.
Yeah.
So I think it adds more fear than it does good. Like unless your baby is medically,
compromised,
then you don't really need all that. You just kind of have to have faith and
hope
for
the best.
Yeah.
But like I think one thing is important is follow the safety protocols.
The safe sleep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
safe sleep because that
without
is
blankets, without toys.
Exactly.
Pillows.
Pillows, yeah.
That little thing that you put around the crib that look beautiful, the bumpers. I actually put those when they were older because they would love to like just He's
with their boca arriba, no?
Oh, and they also need to sleep not in their belly.
Yeah, on their backs.
On their back.
Back to sleep.
Until what age?
So when they can roll over, then it's okay if they roll over and they're on their bellies.
Okay. So after 4, 5.
But you still want to put them on their back to sleep.
Exactly.
And then if they roll over, that's okay. You don't have to like wake them up and turn them
Well, I had such a big fight with my mom about this because like I was so proud of the twins sleeping, like their sleep routine. They will like be so good sleepers. And then I will put a picture of the monitor like, they've been sleeping for like 12
I'm the
hours.
perfect mom.
Yeah, I'm the best mom ever. And then my mom calls me like, why are the twins sleeping boca abajo? Like, I'm like, I put them boca arriba, pero, o sea, like, se voltean a cada rato, they move a lot. They actually have like an active sleep. They don't like just stay still. Y mi mamá, no, que se van a morir, que el síndrome de muerte súbita, que no sé qué. Y yo como que, oh my God.
Porque yo recuerdo, mi mamá me pasó, que son más o menos generacionales, que en esa época,
it was
the opposite.
Yeah.
The safety protocol was that they needed to sleep like...
Wow.
And then when our kids have kids, it will be back on.
It's always going to change.
It's always going to change. So.
But for now, back to sleep.
We're never doing it right. So do whatever you do.
Okay. And then we like, we all have boys, and boys can be a bit tremendos. They're like extreme. They think they're like have superpowers and they will never die. Cats. What do you do about like a big cut, for example?
Well, you should call your sister-in-law who's a nurse practitioner.
Oh yeah, I have it. Sometimes you don't answer though.
That's
and
not bad
and I tell Nathan, call Anna. She's not answering me.
But with that one, what is the product that we need to have at home to put them like to clean
you want to clean it with soap and water, wash it really well, make sure there's nothing in it, and then put some antibiotic ointment on and a bandage. But if it is too big, if it's too wide, and it might need stitches, of course you should go to get checked out.
Go to the emergency.
And then if your child had an accident, like if they fell or something, and you're worried that they broke a bone, and there's an open area where it could be broken, then you want to go to the ER because it could be an open fracture, which means that the bone could have caused, it could be almost coming out.
Wow. So, and one thing I never know is like when is good the ER and when is good the urgent care.
Absolutely.
So
or your pediatrician.
Exactly. So can you give us an example of when is good the ER or the urgent care or the pediatrician?
Yeah, absolutely. You give me an example and I'll tell you where to go.
Okay. So that example of like the bone and bleeding.
Then go to the ER.
Ear infection.
Your pediatrician.
Yeah.
Unless it's, if they're in excruciating pain and they're closed.
Yes, but sometimes you go to your pediatrician, if you call, like there's an appointment for 1 week. They don't have an appointment for the next days.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to find a pediatrician with an agenda.
Yeah.
It's really do you have a pediatric urgent care here?
We do the Nicholas.
I
actually took a poll the other day and it was fine.
Okay. Yeah. Aéreos también para un dolor que tenía.
Yeah, so, whatever.
So if you have a pediatric urgent care, that's the next best step after your pediatrician. If you can't get in with your pediatrician, but ideally you want it to be a pediatric urgent care because regular urgent cares don't have as much experience with pediatrics.
Another thing with that I don't know what to do is when after daycare. They have a lot of common colds or flu or they're coughing or very congested. So as a first-time mom, a lot of times I don't know if like, should I put saline or should I nebulize or should I use their Frida nose? Like what is like the first thing you need to do if your baby or your toddler is congested?
So daycare is just a germ factory. It's so hard.
Dios mío,
It's so
horrible.
hard. There's nothing.
I always thought it was like a myth.
Yeah.
I know, but
I know.
it's
And
100%
It is.
true.
It is. And Michelle and Nathan were saying, well, maybe because it's just so bad because you're in Colombia and since it's warmer here, maybe they won't get sick so much.
Because her kids were always like sick.
Yeah.
We want to visit, no, the kids are sick. And we're like, now we don't care because our kids are always
Now
sick.
they're
But I
just training
remember when you were looking for a daycare, you were afraid to put them on the daycare just because she was afraid for the twins to get sick so fast. And 1 week after they started daycare, they just got sick.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, there's nothing.
But like I learned to live with it. And one thing I always do, I have like this suction como el Frida, el nose Frida, but like
wonderful.
electrical one.
Oh, an electric one. I just do the, those not.
Yes, I love them.
She
But
has another method with her Venezuelan nanny though.
With the...
With
Yo
what?
I know, oh my God. I
know.
Yo se lo iba a contar el de la inyectadora. Yo les pongo gasolina y se los meto por una fosa y sale todos los mocos por la otra. But the nanny that I have in Venezuela.
Oh, no, she like.
Yes. I wasn't at home. I was working, and when I came back to my house, she was like, Eros is not sick anymore. He doesn't have like congestion. He's so good. And you can, okay, but how did you do? I just like...
Qué asco.
I know. O sea, la nani de Venezuela le chupó los mocos. O sea, ya agarró.
Con la boca.
Con la boca, lo succionó. Claro, obvio funcionó perfectamente, pero bueno.
O sea, yo ni a mis propios hijos le haría eso.
Yo tampoco.
But it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you have to do.
Yes.
I know. Any other situation you've been involved that you would like to? One thing is like diarrhea.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so with the mucus and stuff, it's just saline water.
So the main thing is you want to keep them hydrated.
Hydrated.
Yes.
Okay.
Because then the mucus will be thinner and it.
But with water, or we can use Pedialyte or electrolytes.
Well, it depends if you have tequila. That's pretty good. Just kidding. Water. Okay. Water's the best thing. Okay. So if they're able to eat normally, they're getting enough. You don't need to do Pedialyte.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If they're vomiting and have diarrhea, then Pedialyte is good. If they can't, eat normally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then when it's like, because I always have the nebulizer at home, and I'm like, should I nebulize them with saline water?
So you don't
really need
that.
It.
No.
Okay.
So you want to do a cool air humidifier, which I know you have.
El humidificador.
Humidificador.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if they're old enough to put a pillow under their head, it's good to do that so the mucus can drain better.
Ponerle como que una elevación.
Claro.
Exactly.
And cough syrup, because a lot of times they say that cough is good because like it like gets things out. And if you do a cough syrup, then like they don't get the things out. So when is good to give a cough syrup?
So honestly, cough syrup they've done a study that showed that honey is just as effective as cough syrup. So if your child is older than 1, you can do honey, and that works really well. And it's not going to completely stop the cough. It's just going to make it better. So you don't have to worry about like stopping it and then them getting pneumonia because they're not coughing or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I recommend doing honey.
Okay, and with the stomach, diarrhea. Okay, you need to like, when should you worry about diarrhea?
So if it seems like they're getting dehydrated, usually it takes like, I mean, your mom, 24, 48 hours usually of diarrhea. And
that's a lot.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
if they do like more than 5 diarrhea or 6.
So if they do more than if it just won't stop and it keeps on going, then I would call your pediatrician. But mainly usually it just passes, and you just want to keep them hydrated while.
And when is the opposite? When they're constipated, what do you do? Because like that's an issue sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So again, hydration, because that will help help the stool pass. And then you want to make sure they're getting enough fiber.
The massages on the stomach work, because I remember when my baby was had constipated that he was like, you have to give them a massage with the I love you, and it was like the I, the L, and the U. So
that's cute.
That. Yeah, that can definitely. I mean, it can help pass the gas and make them more comfortable. And then also like bicycling.
The bike.
Yeah.
I do another one. Is like a heart with the legs.
I like that.
And there's another thing that you can buy.
The Frida
Windy.
The Windy.
Eso, pero cuidado, like you have to have a towel or something because
it's like a bomb.
It's messy.
It's amazing.
All right.
I love that product.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Frida has like tons of good stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
There's also I don't know if you got there's like a belt that you can get, which has you can warm up a pack. It has like a little weight to it, and so it rests on their tummy and it makes them feel better.
And also like that works because you always hear like, oh, el bebé tiene cólicos. Like, sabes, cuando no paran de llorar. That also works for the colics, right? If you put like a warm compress.
Yeah. So for colic, I mean, it's just like, we don't know why your baby is upset, but they're upset. And it's so hard. It's so frustrating. So you try everything. You're like, maybe it's their tummy. So then do that. I love you.
I love you. I remember just do a lot of
No, but it's so frustrating because when they're so little and and there's this kind of cry that is just different.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's really like puts me like in a bad mood.
Yes, it's so hard.
And I also think that we should like don't listen to like this, like las abuelitas y las tías. They will be like, dale manzanilla, like give chamomile or give like some herbal tea that will help with the colic. What do you think about that? Because Latin abuelas will recommend this 100%.
So, I mean, it depends how old if they're a baby, then they really shouldn't be having anything besides for formula or breast milk.
But I told you this story that I was desperate, and there's this product called drip water.
Yes.
That I don't even know what's drip water. I don't know. It's some magic water.
Yeah, magic water.
So like my friend was like, Michelle, give the drip water that will get rid of the colics like 100%.
Yeah.
And I was desperate. I had it in the fridge and I would look at it like, should I try it? Should I not try? I asked the pediatrician. I was like, no, don't do it. And then it was like 3 a.m. I was alone. Everyone was sleeping. Paul would keep freaking crying. I'm like, I'm doing this. So I did the drip water and it worked. Yeah. He stopped crying.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, no medical professional is going to recommend it.
Yeah. But it will not like kill the baby. I mean, didn't kill mine.
Oh my God.
And that's another thing. Like sometimes as a mom, like, you know what happened here? We have this mindset that I don't know why, like that you go to the pediatrician and sometimes they say nothing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you read something on Google and it's saying that you go to the pediatrician, you lose time.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's like as a mom, we want to act as fast as we can.
Absolutely.
So it's hard for us not to like start like giving them things and medicine before going to the pediatrician.
And it's one of those
hard.
Yeah, it's one of those things also where like he might have just cried himself out and passed some gas, and then it happened at the same time that
That's true.
girl, like with the Z-Pack, a lot of times people think it works, but normally your cold is 5 to 7 days, and the Z-Pack, you know, it's the same
El antibiótico.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you were at my house when your kids got sick from my daycare kids, did you put in like half of an onion in a sock?
Oh yeah.
The onion? Yes, for the nose, for the.
Because after they left, I was cleaning the room and I was like, "What in the world?"
Did you find an onion?
I did. Yeah.
Yes, we put an onion.
I was like, "Were you hungry?" Like, I don't know.
That's so Venezuelan.
Look, my mom would like, when the kids got like their first cold ever, she was like, pon una cebolla.
Yes,
like
I always
and
do
I
it.
was like, what the hell? That's not gonna do anything.
Cut it in half because
Yeah.
the smell,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, people say that the onion has a benefit.
It has like it like some chemical that
yes,
like
that
opens the airways.
yes.
See,
Pues
look
I
it up.
always, when my kids
Look it
get
up, yeah.
cold, I always put the onion on the room.
Do you?
But yeah, it smells horrible.
It smells horrible. Listen, it worked
it
so
works.
well that time it wasn't me who put the onion, it was Nathan.
Was it really?
Yeah, Nathan was like, I'm gonna get an onion.
Nathan is ready to receive the Venezuelan nationality
He's
right
an
now.
honorary Venezuelan. Doesn't matter if it's a red onion or a white onion.
Doesn't?
You just have to believe, you know? If you believe and you do it with faith, everything can work.
Yeah.
Ay, qué risa.
So when you get a cold, do you do
I just smell the
For
onion.
not for adults work too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm gonna, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna look this up.
Well, Anna, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I think you answered a lot of my questions that I've been a bit lazy about learning this because I just have you, so I would always call you, but not everyone has an amazing sister-in-law who also is a nurse practitioner. But now you have it here.
How many accents, like,
Yeah.
I think, like, there's a lot of home accents, like the
Yeah.
percentage of
Oh, absolutely.
that kids that die for, like, at home for something like shocking or...
No, just
Yeah.
like bad luck, like
Yeah.
you know,
Or
like
SIDS.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, that's terrifying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, how
Yeah.
is it like common, right? It's like
I mean, I don't know.
Should
the
we be freaked
statistics
out?
Exactly. I mean, there's no point.
there's
know?
no point.
There's no point in worrying about what you can't control. You want to, make sure you're doing what we talked about, the back to sleep and keeping the crib a safe environment. And then you just kind of have to.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good, but it also stresses me out.
Mira,
Oh, can I say-
en Patreon, después de este episodio, vamos a encontrar a alguien que nos venga a dar el curso de primeros auxilios.
Sí. For
That's
Patreon,
amazing.
we're gonna do
Súper
it,
importante.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So I like to go to the pediatrician, even if I know what's going on, because it makes me feel better to have someone else like confirm that my child's okay. So if you have any question, just go to your pediatrician.
Yeah,
You're
that's
never gonna regret it or feel they're not gonna make you feel bad for going. So when in doubt, just go. And for me, it's worth the $30 copay to feel better. I'm like,
No, y es verdad, por
Like,
lo menos muchas mamás dejamos de ir como que al pediatra pero qué importante es lo que tú dices, no perdemos nada, a pesar
Sí,
de nosotros
exactly.
como que actuar o creer que tal vez tú llamas a tu cuñada porque
sí.
tienes ese beneficio, pero también ir, o sea, no pierdes nada con ir y comprobar que lo que tienes es eso, o escuchar
Sí.
una opinión
O decir
diferente.
que no, simplemente saber que está bien y ya.
O saber
Yeah,
que está
yeah.
bien.
And
Yeah.
also, I feel like we have such good intuition as mothers. If you feel like there's something wrong,
That is
you know.
very important. the
Yeah, like
intuition.
trust yourself because you know your child best.
All right, we're going to Patreon. Well, thank you so much for being here, Ana, and we'll see you next week. Recuerden suscribirse, darle like, share. Esto lo pueden ver en español, con subtítulos en español en YouTube. Así que nada, nos vemos la próxima semana.
Y dejen en los comentarios qué accidentes han tenido en casa en donde ustedes se han vuelto locas, cosas que han pasado. Todas somos mamás,
Sí.
todos los niños se van a caer, o sea, siempre nos van a pasar cosas, no se sientan mal. Lo importante es actuar y saber este tipo de cosas para que no nos pase la mayor cantidad posible. Yo recuerdo Diego con los popcorn, la cantidad de niños que se ahoga. Mi hermana es
Oh my
súper
God.
estricta con los hazards. Yo no, gracias a Dios nunca le pasó nada, pero después me salieron un poco de videos con los hazards del popcorn y
Ujú.
asusta. Así que ustedes hagan su cursito para que podamos pues estar preparadas.
Ok, bueno, chaito.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.